Hi there, it's Nursing Geek. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to the Greenhouse SMP, the Stina Rose Patreon server. And yeah, we're hanging out over by my ruined portal, which is kind of turning into the like center point of the lore for this base, as I'm kind of still working it out. But the main reason we're over here right now is because this is where I've been doing quite a bit of building. Like, ta-da! So if the idea is that the inhabitants here sort of spilled in here from the nether, but then lost their way back because it's broke, I should probably consider putting something in there. Then kind of set up their own settlement here. Needed a couple of builds, and this house is one that I had thought I was going to put two different places. It is a mythical sausage build tutorial to be linked per usual. Yell at me if I forget the link, please. Um, I originally was going to put this where my apiary ended up, and then I thought I was going to put it where my original little shack from when I grabbed this particular corner of the server um, and that still needs replacing. That's over on the other side of the container ship there, which is not blocking the canal, by the way, unlike some recent real life ships I could name. Um, so then I finally decided to put it here. Oh, yeah, and apparently there's a cave under here that needs lighting up. Yay. Um, yeah, this was very interesting to build in survival. I'm glad I waited to build it. The roof in particular was really challenging. Needed a lot of pressure plating so that it would not become a giant spawnapalooza. Um, but once I got up there and was climbing around pressure plating it, it was actually pretty easy to make sure I got everything. And so this was not the original color palette. It was the tutorial, if you go follow the link, was actually from back in 2019, so pre 1.16. So this was done all in like a combination of dark oak, spruce, and oak. And all of those three things are in there, but then I used a lot of the warped wood as well. And the base, instead of being regular stone, I decided to do black stone, in part because I had also added this tower. So unlike across the way where we've got that uh, lighthouse, this is not exactly a lighthouse, although it sort of functions in some ways as one for this side of where the ocean narrows into the river here. It is just a lookout tower because, when you've just arrived here from the Nether and you're taking stock of this new place that you have found yourself, you're probably going to want a lookout tower. This was an interesting, both of these, but more so this one were interesting exercises in can I count? No. And how many times did I need to correct the counting? I should probably bring the floor up another block because this is silly. This is silly. but but it's what I ended up doing, so whatever. Um, and so all kinds of workstations, more workstations, storage, or at least potential storage. I don't think there's anything actually in any of those. One of the nice things about this is there's multiple levels where you can see things. Yes, a fair bit of pressure plating here too, because I was really happy with using the blue lanterns, but they do not cast anywhere near as much light as regular lanterns. So to make sure this did not become a spawning platform, also required a fair bit of pressure plating. So yeah, now you can see around everywhere what's going on. Is there anything coming in from the ocean? From that way, from that way? Did anything in the nether find its way to open up and come through? So now, there could be gas, there could be blazes. There will not. But but there could theoretically for the folks who just escaped here from the nether. And it was funny watching the tutorial for this, also a mythical sausage build. And he kept saying, we don't really have to use anvils. You could just use black stone walls if the anvils are too expensive. And with the iron farm we have on this server, I was like, oh no, anvils are great. Thanks. That is much less expensive than more blackstone. um, Even though with the gold farm, blackstone is also now practically free. And then a little bedroom, which, oh, I meant to bring another writing book that I could put there so that it would not be an empty lectern. I have books, but I do not have quills and ink. And then there's a top. Now in the tutorial, actually, this was almost like a little cafe. And I'm thinking that might not be a bad idea. Make some um, chairs and tables up here where you could just sort of enjoy the outdoors, possibly have a moonlight dinner um, in between standing watch over the area. Because I do still kind of see this as more of a watchtower. This one was a specifically 1.16 build. And I did end up going with bone blocks for the white because why not? I don't think I had done anything really building with bone blocks. I've mostly used them as ways to store my bone meal to compost stuff. And then across the way, where you can't quite see from here because my render distance is so low because my memory issues have been fantastic. And OBS, whatever it's doing lately, is making memory issues worse. And I'm not the only person it seems to be happening to. So whatever the latest update was, OBS, fix it, please. But yeah, the other build that I've been working on was getting the dock in here with the lighthouse. I still need to create some actual little mini dock areas for little boats. But yeah, then there was this boat, which was an adventure in not only can I count, but can I figure out which way this boat is facing? Oh my goodness. But as with the lighthouse combo, I did want this to be a bit different than the one from down the other way. And this is from, yeah, the username includes the word Android. That is as good as I'm going to do from pure memory right at the moment. Again, link below. I did go through and make sure to, can I get on the ladder? There we go. Carpet all the upwards facing surfaces here so that, again, trying to avoid spawnapalooza. Even though I've still got a lot of spawn proofing to do in the area here because I have not done that much yet. And some of it is very clumsy like this or like the torch spam. There isn't quite as much room to work with here unless I pull down this little hill to have the sort of marketplace that I do at the other end of the river with that lighthouse. And even though technically my base does go towards the north here, I don't think I'm going to really add much of anything up here. It's funny because I keep looking at the Dynamap and checking and rechecking and everything because it feels like I've taken up too much space, even though we do have this 300 block radius. And of course, trying to trace out a radius on Dynamap is its own kind of fun because I just, yeah, keep thinking I've gone too far, but it does not look as though I actually have. So that's the main stuff I've been working on, in bits and pieces here and there because I have not had good solid blocks of time to work. So each of the little replay time lapses are stitched together from like 6 and 7 and 8 little time lapses from replay mod because the only way things like this were getting built was from block by block tutorials so that I could log in for 15 minutes here and a half hour there and just be told exactly, put this block here, that block there, that block there. Which I'm pretty happy with how it's all turned out so far. Now I just really need to get some more detail in and figure out how exactly to put together the story of this place. And one other spot that I feel like it really needs an actual build, but I don't quite know what it needs to be, is this gap in here. Okay, go ahead and put this over by the flower shop. Wrong. Slip. And dolphins, could you maybe stop it. This is why I keep finding these boats way the heck out there somewhere. Anyway, yeah, the next thing I need to figure out is this area. This kind of big chunk of emptiness. I also need to figure out what I'm doing about all this podzol because I don't think I'm doing what I was originally planning to do. So some of it should stay. Some of it should probably be turned back to grass. I don't know. But this whole bit here is what needs something. Maybe an inn Can't really think of any other shops that it would make sense to build. We've got a flower shop, a potion shop, a bookshop. We've got the Hall of Memories and the little enchanting freestanding spot over there. We've got all the little cottages down by the other lighthouse. I'm about to be unable to sprint. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe an inn of some kind here? I don't know. Because I guess maybe that's the other thing you would build, right? You get some sort of a house once you first arrived here from the Nether and set up places. But then more people are going to be coming, right? Until that breaks, and they need some place to stay until they find their homes. And then once this becomes a shipping lane, because you've figured out that this is what your niche is going to be, an inn probably would make sense. Huh. That's a project for another day. In the meantime, that's the current update, and I hope you enjoyed the time lapses. And until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.